I guess I'll just open it up. It's a really exciting day to welcome Rui and his family to the Lakers. His agent Darren Matsubara. I can remember, scouting Rui when he was at Gonzaga, and he's a player we followed through his entire NBA career. In fact, I was telling Mats, his agent, the other day. I remember talking to him when they played Loyola Marymount when our entire scout staff was there too, and just proud to be able to add a player like this who's 24 years old, adds incredible depth for us on the wing, has really unique 3-and-D talents, and most importantly is just a high character individual that cares about playing basketball the right way, and those guys really thrive in our system. So Rui, welcome. We couldn't be more honored to have you.
Thank you.
Hey, Rui, you mentioned a moment ago that part of number 8 was you being a big fan of Kobe growing up and thinking about that, and just wondered what the Lakers, what you thought of that particular franchise in Japan, and then as you came here and then entered the league, like how that's entered your mind, if at all, as you come here now.
Yeah, I would say the Lakers is one of the most famous teams in Japan. The NBA is getting bigger right now in Japan, but yeah, I think the Lakers, everybody knows about Lakers, and I think we have a lot of history and stuff. So yeah, I think it's one of the biggest ones.
Rui, how do you look at this opportunity, joining a team that's fighting to get into the postseason, but certainly a bunch of veterans that believe if they can get in there, they can make some noise?
I'm excited. I'm so excited for this opportunity. Of course, the Lakers is one of the greatest, the organization, and I'm so happy to be part of this family, and I'm so happy to be back in LA. It's so funny that when I was in college, I came here for college games and stuff, and I was joking around about, this is gonna be my home, and it's really happening right now. So yeah, I'm so happy, and I'm so excited for it. Yeah.
Rob, can you share with us anything kind of how this came together over the last couple of days?
Yeah, I think one of the needs we wanted to address with the roster was just adding, size and depth to the wing position. And, of course, this is the time of year with the trade deadline a couple weeks away where we're canvassing the league on ways to get better. With me, that's talking to all 29 other teams and their GMs and just keeping a cadence, checking in every few days. That's just something that all the teams are doing this time of year. And we've had a great working relationship with the Wizards, and Tommy Shepard obviously have done a couple trades for them with them recently, and began conversations about a week ago when Rui became available, what they were trying to accomplish, and felt like it was an opportunity for us to strike early and address a need in a market that has proven to be a little bit slow. And it doesn't mean our work's finished. We're going to continue to monitor the situations with the 29 other teams, and our job as a front office is to always look for ways to improve our team both now and in the future. And we felt like Rui was the perfect way to do that, and that's why we struck early.
Rui, you have a lot of former teammates here, and Russ and Thomas and Troy. How do you think that might translate to helping you get your fit in sort of in the locker room, but also a style that you can get a sense for on the court quickly?
Like you say, I played with Russ, Troy, and the TB. I played TB for maybe 2 years or something. So, and I played Russ for 1 year. But I learned a lot of things from him that year, and he helped me a lot for my games and stuff. So, I'm so excited to be back with those guys and play with playing here. I kind of, we already have a chemistry, so I think it's going to be great to back with these guys and play for Lakers.
And also for Rob, the team I believe has a winning record since AD got hurt. How has the competitiveness of the group since AD's been out with injury affected the front office's approach to the deadline, and has their competitiveness maybe made it feel more urgent to make some moves?
Yeah, I think we talked about this when we hired Darvin Ham. We felt like one of the qualities in him that was resounding was just his competitive nature, and I think all teams to some extent take on the characteristics of their leader, and that's just been an absolute for Darvin with all the players this year is being competitive and playing hard. I think our last game against Portland was an example of that. As LeBron said in the postgame, we're not a team that dies or quits. We were down big at halftime, and Pat Bev and Dennis lead the charge with the competitive spirit with their defense, and that's the nature of this group. And it's expected by Darvin and us that we're competitive every night. And I think one of the things with Rui is, if you look at the Gonzaga program and with the Wizards, as I started by saying, he plays the game the right way. And I think when he jumps into this kind of flow of super competitive guys that are playing aggressively and physically every night, it's going to bring also another level out of him. And having leaders like LeBron and AD and Russ, I think the team starts to take on the identity. And what we've seen in LeBron with his leadership and hard play, over the last few weeks, getting Player of the Week twice is, like he said in the post-game interviews, he's doing his job too, and making sure this whole team plays as hard as he does every night. We have now a stretch of hopefully a couple weeks before the trade deadline where we'll get a chance to hopefully get healthy with guys like Austin Reeves and Lonnie Walker and Anthony Davis coming back into the mix for us. And we expect to play very, very hard in those games and hopefully continue to win at a high clip.
For Rui, how do you see your skill set fitting in the front court, particularly around LeBron and AD, and kind of just how you three can mesh as a front line?
I think for me, I think I can shoot the ball, threes, and I can shoot mid-range. I can attack the rim, and even off the ball, I can cut in the stuff is good for me, and I can get a rebound and pushing the ball and stuff. So I can do a lot of stuff, and I think it's gonna be great. Yeah.
One more for Rob. One of the nice things for you guys from this deal was you were able to keep your 2 first-round picks, and you talked about on media day how you only get one shot at that, and how it's really important to make the right deal. While you're evaluating the roster and the next couple of weeks, aggressive do you feel like you guys have to be with using those picks or not, saving them, or kind of viewing the future with this upcoming offseason?
Yeah, I think the calculus for the Lakers is to win a championship or not. There's no in between or incremental growth. So as we analyze opportunities, we have to do it through that lens. And I said this at the beginning of the season, if there's an opportunity to get all the way to the end and win a championship, there's no resource we'll hold on to if we feel like that's there. But at the same time, the completely unwise thing to do would be to shoot a bullet early and then not have it later when you have a better championship move you could make. So that's a really delicate calculus, and it's something that the entire front office, we evaluate with all the moves. And if we see a move that puts us as the front runner to get another championship, the 18th one here, we'll make it. And if that move doesn't present itself, we'll be smart and make it at a later time.
Hey, Rui, Dan Wakey with the LA Times. Welcome, first of all. What was it about LA that made it feel like a place you wanted to call home?
I don't know. It was at first I like the weather for sure, and I have I have a family, friends in here, a lot of friends in here, and there's a lot of Japanese people in here too. So I think that made me feel like this is my home, close to Japan. It's only 9 hours from here, so I think that's the reason.
Rob, Rui's a free agent at the end of the season. How important was making this a long-term relationship part of the calculus? And then I guess, in addition to the picks, we've talked a lot about cap space and stuff like that too. How have you kind of tried to balance keeping cap space going into summer versus potentially operating like a team that's over the cap and trade season?
Yeah, I think, if you look at our cap, one of the things that we have is we have tremendous flexibility to pivot multiple different ways. I think teams get in trouble if you get super bogged down for 3 or 4 years and you can't make moves. If you really study our cap, I think we have a very flexible cap. And at the same time, we really are excited with some of the young guys that we've added, like Austin Reeves and Thomas Bryant, and Lonnie Walker had a great start to the season. Now bringing in another young player in Rui, being able to retain young players and grow them and develop them and continue to be competitive now, I think is a big advantage. It's easy to get a veteran at the end of their career with a pick, but when you can get a player that hopefully has a 10-plus year runway of great basketball in front of him, like Rui does, that's a really unique opportunity at the trade deadline to get. And we wouldn't trade for a young player without doing a deep dive and study and, having plans to hopefully keep him here for the long term.
Hey, Rob, good to see you.
Hey, Mark.
Philosophically, leading into the trade deadline, to what extent will input from LeBron and AD influence any roster decisions?
I think we've said before, our captains, LeBron and Anthony Davis, are always involved in what Coach Ham is doing, what the front office is doing. And at the same time, I think LeBron said it really well at the press conference the other night when he said, my job is to play basketball. The front office's job is to do their job and to build a roster. And Coach Ham's job is to coach. And I agree with that. We all have to do our jobs and do them with excellence and all be together. And that's how we operate and we'll continue to operate.
今日レイカーズのここのアリーナ、今まで大学も含め何度も来たことがあると思うんですけれども、今日レイカーズのメンバーとしてここに入ってきてどのように感じましたか？
そうですね、最初から昨日から来た時からなんですけど、すごい自分では変な感じというか夢にいるような感じで、こうやって本当昨日全部動いてすぐこっちに来て、今全部メディカルのチェックもしたりしてコーチに会ったりスタッフ陣に会ったりしたので、そのトランジションがすごい早かったなっていう感じなんですけど、今もチームメートにもみんなにも会ってコーチにも会ったりして、もうみんなと会った感じがして、やっと僕もレイカーズの一員なんだなって思ってきました。
このチームでレブロン・ジェームスだとか、ウエストブルックはもう一緒にプレーしてますけれども、どんなことを学んでいきたいと思いますか？
そうですね、今言った通り、レブロン、ラッセル、AD はやっぱり今NBA でもトップ5のトップ3の選手が一つのチームにいるということで、僕もすごいそのチームに加われることはすごい楽しみにしてますし、いろんなことを学びたいなと思いますし、やっぱりここの目標はやっぱチャンピオンシップを取ることなので、そういうのにもそういうメンタリティーもしっかりと学んでいきたいなと思います。
先ほど英語でゴンザガの時に来られてホームになるんじゃないかということをおっしゃられてましたけども、もう一度それを日本語で教えていただけますか、その状況。
そうですね、ゴンザガ時によくLA の試合で来てたんですけど、そういう時にLA チームメートに僕が LA がホームになるんじゃないかってそういうふうにいつも言ってたので、こうやって今 LA レイカーズにトレードされて LA がホームになれるってことはすごい嬉しいですし、すごい楽しみです。
読売新聞の帯津と言います。ウィザーズと大学でやってきたことで、ここで見せたいプレーというかですね、通用できる武器というか、それをお願いします。
そうですね、僕はオフェンスの部分でいろんなことができるので、スリーポイントそうですし、ミッドレンジもそうですし、ゴールのアタックもできますし、オフェンスをリバウンドを取ってそのまま速攻に持っていけるということで、そういういろんなことができるというところをここでも生かしていきたいな、アグレッシブにやっていきたいなと思います。